Thank you again for joining us here on the third episode of the Party Wagon podcast, if you're keeping count. It's the fourth episode if you count episode 0, but we're making this officially episode 3. Once again, it's me, Gary, part of the Party Wagon, and we have Steven over here, also part of the Party Wagon. What's going on, Steven?
Nothing much. How's it going?
Hanging in there, man. Just another week of turtle news, turtle things, turtle opinions, and we're just here to kind of talk about it. We didn't really have a topic for today. I hit Steven up and I was like, hey, man, we're just going to do it. Let's just go in raw dogging it, and we'll figure it out and just kind of talk about things. And as you've noticed, it's not a group of friends today. It's just Steven and I. We decided that it was a better idea to try just two of us because we're still figuring this whole thing out, which works best. And I figured we'll try just two of us on a main episode, see how it goes, see what your thoughts are, and we'll just continue growing and evolving as we get further into this. So I hope everybody likes this and enjoys what we're doing. And we always encourage you to put some comments, some constructive criticism, if you may, in the chat below or wherever we have posted this in the groups. We truly appreciate it because we're taking that feedback. We're just trying to make this better because we're all kind of coming out of our shells on this. But it's pretty awesome. But anyway, let's just talk about it. Steven, I just really want to jump right into talking about this Tatsu news. Tatsu, Mr. Obita. I don't even remember. So yeah. So I'm 50-50 on it. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a thing?
Same here. To be honest, I hope it's true. I think it would be a great figure to add to the collection. I think a lot of people are waiting for him.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's not going to be official until NECA announces it.
Yeah, if you've been following in the groups, it kind of broke Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Oh yeah, Turtle Tuesday. Somebody had shared it and said that, oh no, there's proof, and they showed something that was said by his son supposedly on one of his accounts on Facebook. And I made a post about it, and I was like, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. It's the first news we've heard in a while, but I was really concerned about the date being blocked off. It was blacked out, I mean, and I didn't know what to think of it, and that right there was fishy to me because why would we black any date out? Somebody did end up finding it, and it was March of 2022, so we're looking at 10 months ago that this was said. I don't know how I feel about that. My only saving grace is it was kind of tiptoed around on when Veebs asked Trevor a couple of weeks ago what was going on with Tatsu, and he kind of like dismissed it. So I don't know. Did you get that vibe from him at all as well, or what?
Yeah, I did. So I agree. He's holding something back, so that's why he can't say anything, in my opinion. But time will tell. I know last year they did say they have some more figures lined up for us, but they wouldn't say what.
Right.
So yeah, we'll wait and see.
Like the April O'Neil Ultimate that was supposed to be last year that we've still not heard anything about, that the retooling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In case you're not really caught up with what we're talking about NECA, the NECA figures that are really awesome. I have a huge collection of them all over my room. Those are the big ones back there. They are all over my wall. So that's what we're talking about. It's just one of our dream figures. It's a Secret of the Ooze and original movie figure that everybody kind of wants in their collection. One of our good buddies actually created one, Fidel. His name is Fidel Murillo, and he created one. It was really awesome with essentially a kit bash, and it looks spot on. I think Pedro has that in his collection.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Yeah, I was definitely jealous when he got it. I was like, man, I want that. But because I mean, if NECA does anything like that, then it's going to be almost as good. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where the community always makes stuff better, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they do. Like you'll get a figure in hand, and there'll be little things, and you can kind of make it look a little better. And I feel like the community will do that, and the community's already done it. So I feel like the expectations are so goddamn high right now with that figure. With like everybody really wants it. We'll probably never get it, but every time we get some bit of news, we just we grasp at it. We're just hoping. I messaged the Mad Hatter about it, and he was just like, listen, don't you dare get my hopes up on this. So I'm like, hey man, like I'm just This is what I saw. I'm always keeping him in the know. I mean, if you watch his videos, you know he brings me up a lot. That I always hit him with stuff as it comes out. So
Yeah, yeah, he's a good guy. He does great reviews.
yeah, he'll be on here soon. So if anybody wants to see what the conversation's like with the Mad Hatter in here, Mad Hatter reviews will be here soon. Maybe this weekend we might record it. Maybe next weekend. Maybe next week. I don't know. But it's a thing. We're gonna do it. I already talked to him about it. He's already game. He's a good friend of mine, even though he's across the U.S. So hopefully we'll be able to get him in soon, so that our next episode of it's gonna be a We Have Cool Friends kind of episode, because we have cool friends, and I know someone called us out on that name because another podcast has a subject line that they called their thing that, but that's all video games and stuff. We talk about turtles here, so I'm taking the name and I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah, it's a great name, but maybe we should call it "We Have Better Friends."
We have better friends. We have
We
neat
have better
friends.
friends.
We have
cooler friends.
we have tubular friends. Throw some turtle
There
stuff
you
into that.
Yeah.
So, but we do. We have cool friends, and I'm going to continue to try to bring some people on here. If you have any suggestions, please let us know. I can talk with them, not really interview style, but just really just try to get to know them, see what they're up to, and if they do something cool, maybe it's a business, they do some custom creations or something. That's kind of the whole thing. Is I'm just interested to hear about what they do and what their behind the scenes kind of sounds like. And I've got cool friends, so I've got it pretty packed for a while. But if you have any suggestions, we would love to hear some suggestions. Tag them, let me know, and we will kind of go from there. And we'll do that, and maybe we'll bring them onto this main podcast and figure that out, and just kind of talk about turtles. For anybody that's watching, I'm sorry, my camera is just like trying to refocus every 10 seconds, so I'm very sorry about that. But if it's not bothering you, cool. So yeah, Tatsu, man, Tatsu's gonna be big if it's a thing. I really want it, and I want it with soft goods. That's my request. I don't want like they did with the Shadow Masters, where they were the sculpted arms.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I just want cloth goods. I want a cloth gi. Do full reuse under that robe. I don't care. Just the head and the cloth goods will be what we want. And
I prefer an ultimate. I don't want a 2-pack.
Right. I was thinking about that. What if like the 2-pack of him was him with that fat foot soldier? Sorry, that larger foot soldier. I don't want to say fat. That's demeaning. It's a derogative term. That bigger foot soldier, the buffer one that we saw in the second movie, which leaked. We saw it. We saw the prototype for it. What if they did a 2-pack of Tatsu and that foot soldier? That would suck, because then you'd have to have so many Tatsus for
exactly.
If you were trying to army build those, that'd be the worst. But
right, a lot of people want the single ones because then they can change the clothes on them, make them custom, and put them in different dials.
Yeah.
So so NECA, listen to us.
Yeah, we know you're watching.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of our thoughts. We just wanted to go over some Tatsu stuff. We're not like 100% on it. Nobody's really 100% on it. I'm hoping that we get something, but it's still really up in the air right now. We were at like a high on Tuesday. We're back at a low. It's kind of swept back under the rug. We don't expect anything, so we'll see. And I guess that will kind of lead me into like the next thing we wanted to talk about, and this is something that Steven and I know a lot about, and this is something that was requested that we kind of talk about a little bit and just kind of give some people some insight, and that is being admins of a Facebook group and kind of running not just Facebook, but running this YouTube channel and also running like Instagram and stuff like that. And that's just kind of something we wanted to talk about, because if you don't know, Steven and I both run the TMNT Party Wagon along with a bunch of other great people: Justin, Sean, Nick, just to name a few, Oscar and Jason. Yeah. So Manuel's in there, Pedro's in there, but he used to be an admin. But anyway, I just kind of feel like I gotta name everybody, because I gotta make sure they feel validated, because they do a lot of awesome shit. Right. But we also run another group, and I always forget the name of the group. Steven, what the hell's the name of the group?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Action Figures Collection.
Collection or collectors?
Collectors. Sorry. Yes.
See, I know that part. So I know that part. I knew the name was in there. So we also run that group. Something that was kind of handed over to us because we've been doing such a good job with the Party Wagon. Someone wasn't really running the group that efficiently anymore. 23,000 members are in that group. We're about at 9,500 on the Party Wagon in just over a year, which is incredible. I'm so thankful for that.
It's
But
amazing.
yeah, we've got that other group that we've been just kind of hanging out on. Steven's been focusing more on that, where I've been doing more of the party wagon stuff, but we keep our eye on stuff.
Yeah.
So, what sucks? What's the hardest part of all this?
Um, a lot of people have opinions on how the group should be. Um, and how can I put it this way? Everyone's allowed to have their thoughts, right? But we can't make everybody happy.
Right.
We run it the best we can, and obviously, the party wagon, in my opinion, is very successful. People love it. We get a lot of activity, a lot of engagement, and to answer your question, Gary, I think the hardest thing is making sure the scammers are out.
Right.
Um, it's just you never know who a scammer can be and what backdoor they're trying to pull.
Right.
Just the other day, we approved a member, and right away they posted a website to go to, and it looked legitimate, but it was malware. So we
Was that the
want.
party wagon we were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I declined that, and then I put in there, "This is malware." It was like, "Who's you?
Yep.
No, what turtle are you? What TMNT turtle are you?" And you begin. It was a quiz, and I immediately, before we approved that person, and then I saw that post, and we have post submission on, so like we have to prove it. We don't just let it go right into the in the world. And I actually I did a quick check. Is that a legit website? And it literally came back as, "You click that begin quiz, malware." And
Yep.
I declined it and let them know. So I don't. Maybe that person, they had a comment, and usually they don't have comments. They said that they got Leo. Maybe they were legit a person actually trying to share something fun, but
Yeah,
we
but
can't we
a
can't let that happen.
couple 5 minutes later, Gary, I have to tell you, they posted something else random, and it was another malware
Oh, I didn't
site.
see it. So
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
So yeah, it was obviously scammer or something. So I abandoned them because it was just a brand new member also.
Yeah, that's
So
usually what happens.
yeah, exactly. I like to cross reference, other groups to make sure before I ban them personally, if they're in other groups or their activity, and talk to other admins there, and just to see their vibe on them. And 9 times out of 10, yeah, it's a scammer when we actually ban people for
Right.
that stuff.
And
So
that's just one person, right? That's
yeah,
literally one person in a group that can cause issues. And what you just said was, you've had to go through and you've had to talk to other people. That
right.
is time consuming, and we are both full-time employees of our respected positions with
Yep.
families. So like, when people we have been called out at the party wagon for having so many admins. That's why, you know, there's a lot. And with you and I, we get a lot of the recognition because we have these faces all the time. We're always showing our faces. We're always talking about stuff. But
Exactly.
like, think about it. That right there. Like, for me to look up that website to validate it, to see if it was malware, took me 5 minutes.
Right.
Right, 5 minutes times 1,700 posts a month. That's a lot of, like, and like, that's not saying everyone needs to be researched, but that's 1,700 posts that I have to look at before we approve, or you have to look at, or Manuel has to look at, or Oscar has to look at. That it's all work that we have to put in before we approve it. And that's part of the hard part, is it's that work life, uh, what we call the groups. I would say project. I'd say work
No.
life fandom balance.
Yeah.
I guess we'll
Sure.
call it. Yeah. So like, it's tough. So I just want, like, that's just one thing. Like, I'm glad you brought that up, because like, it really, there's an amalgamation of different things that we have to do that no one ever sees. We have the luxury of working from home. You think you're like, what do you have? You can move in and out wherever you want, but
Yeah.
my camera's just going batshit crazy right now. But I have the benefit of, I work from home. I can look at my phone whenever I want, and I can approve things and look at that stuff. But it's time consuming, and if we didn't have everybody in different time zones in our group at the party wagon, we wouldn't be able to get stuff done, because stuff would sit
Exactly.
for hours, and no one would
Right.
touch it because we're asleep. and people are everywhere. uh, my hardest thing, and this is the biggest time consumption that I have, is deleting inappropriate comments.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that's gotten harder as we've gotten bigger. Back in the day, Jason, Bob, and I would always be like, we Jason, if you're approving a post, make sure you keep an eye on it. But now we're 1,700, 1,800 posts in, a month. It's hard for us to keep up with that. Like, you can't look at every single post. Some get drowned out, and that shit happens. And for me, like, I try my best to like look through all the comments. I don't know if you do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, and the one thing that made us like, really grow and just really have us appreciate the community and the community appreciate us was we used to very vigorously, we used to delete comments, and not approve posts that looked like shit starters. That's just kind of what we did. If the post looked like something that was going to be a shit starter, we don't want to approve that because we don't want people to get that negativity in there. And then you have to balance are you going to piss off that person? Do they not?
Exactly.
Do they feel like they're being silenced now? Is their post, their opinion, or whatever it is not good enough to share in the group? And then I get a DM, and then I got to explain it to them, and then I got to you know, I got to
Right.
just kind of, I got to walk that fine line. And that's what's really hard for me. I had to delete a comment the other day where someone straight up just said to me, uh, do your research or something like that. It was actually on the Tatsu thing. And it was just a very aggressive comment. And if anybody knows me, like, yeah, I do my research. Like, I ask the right
Of course.
people. I have acquaintances and friends that know things. I've been told things that I've kept secrets. That's now public knowledge. And I told Steven actually, so he could prove it. It was the Casey Jones. I knew of Casey Jones Universal Monsters. I explained to him exactly what it was. So I was like, if anybody calls me a fucking liar,
He did.
this is it. I still know secrets of that line, right? Because I was told, by someone
Right.
nice, and like I do my research, and for someone to like literally just come out so aggressive, like I don't want that. I don't want other people to see that because then I don't want them to feel like they can speak to each other like that. So, that like I said, that fine line you got to walk, and then you got to try not to like silence their free speech. A lot of people throw out
Yeah.
there, and at the
It-
end of the day,
you-
it's like if you're being a dickhead, it's not free speech. It's just like me trying to make sure that people are not seeing that and thinking that's an example of how they can treat others. If they don't see it, they won't act that way. That's just
right.
how it is.
We take pride on a drama-free group. We don't want drama. We want people to have fun.
Right.
It's that's what again was that's what we take pride in. And when we do deny posts or when we do remove comments, we talk about it as group admins because it affects the community, it affects our group. We want to make sure we're doing the right decision.
Yeah.
So we don't take it lightly, you know?
Yeah. Every time that there's a question, something comes in the question, we have an admin group chat, which is all of us, and we will like. Do we now? We're trying to like take a better approach at. We don't remove people. That's just something we don't do. We let people see themselves out, but we were trying to like we are trying to remove people that are consistently being jerks. And I made if you're in our group and you're listening to this, we someone's texting me. This is annoying. If you're in our group and you've seen, I made a post about do we just start getting rid of people or whatever, and a lot of people were like, let's just like work with the tools and mute them and do stuff like that for temporary times, which I feel awful doing. I hate it. I hate muting people. But at the end of the day, like it's better than removing people. And surprisingly, there are people that we know that we talk about in our group chat. And like, I'm gonna boot this guy? No, don't boot him. Like, let's give him another chance. Or what? We take a poll. If everybody says yes, we will remove somebody. But there's a lot of people that are like on the you need to leave list. Like you are consistently negative, and I don't mean negative as in your opinion on things. Like negative as in you always bring people always bring a negative tone when they say things just because it's the internet. They can't. The tone
Yeah.
doesn't translate. I used to work on a chat team. I used to be one of those chat bots when you talk to somebody and they'd be like, "Oh, give me this for free." And I'd be like, "Fuck you." I
Yeah.
was that guy, and and your tone through text is definitely different, and it's a skill you have to learn. So when people are typing stuff, you have to focus on what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like that's the key here. And there's a lot of people on our list that are like need to go, but we're like, let's let them stay. But ever since I made that post, those people have definitely calmed down. I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been seeing less and less of
Oh, I have.
those people,
Yeah, for sure.
and it's not just one or two people. It's a group. There's a group of people whose names that I know off the top of my head that are consistently causing anguish and stuff. And I'm gonna say it again. My camera is losing its goddamn mind right now. So next episode, I'm gonna turn off autofocus and.
Oh, there, you still look good. Don't worry.
So anyway, yeah. What else? What else? Like we just covered a whole lot. I talked way too much there.
Oh, no, you
Like
did.
what else are we like seeing? You know, what? I'm gonna talk again. Some some asshole made a joke to you today. Not even a joke. You in this other group that he runs, that we both run, this other turtles group, the big one. He's like, "What do you want to see more of?" Like he's trying to make the group more fun because this thing was nosediving. And he's like, "What do you
Spam.
want to see? Yeah, what do you want to see more of?" And someone said, "Less of you talking or less of your
Yeah,
posts." And like
yeah,
as a joke, I recorded like I was the first one to comment on it. I recorded myself literally typing that and hitting submit, and then I sent it to Steve, and I deleted it right after, as I just wanted to bust his balls. And someone
yeah.
actually did it, and I was like, "Wow, what a dickhead!" Like, come on.
I
And they're
know.
always the guys that have no interact. You look at their posts; they've done nothing for
Okay,
6 months. They
exactly.
haven't done anything. They're just there.
Yeah. Goes back to what I said prior. You can't make everybody happy. You
Right.
know,
So
so it's people have their opinions, which is great. That's what makes the community. Just don't be dicks about it.
right. Yeah.
You know.
It's simple as that. If you see something, and that's the other part, and that's the other part, we're talking about people being jerks and dickheads about things. It's like when I first started the group a year ago. One of the things, so I'm guilty of this, right? I'm completely guilty of this. When I was in other groups before I was doing an admin or a mod in another group, before I ever did that, I'm in TMNT NECA figures run by Matthew Maldonado. I talk to all the time.
He's a great
And
guy.
yeah, I talk to him all the time, and he definitely has a life outside of this stuff. Like he has a life, and he doesn't like super monitor it, but he's got a set of rules. But anyway, people would always ask questions in that group, and I would be like, and my first thought would be like, wow, we've been talking about this for 3 weeks now. Where the hell have you been? Why don't you know why are you asking this? Like, are you an idiot? Like, we've been covering this. We've answered this multiple times. But at the end of the day, like us spending this much time on our phones, this passion of turtles, like think of it, this is a passion of turtles. These other people probably buy a couple toys because it reminds them of their childhood, but they're not here to indulge their life in it like we are. So they don't
Right.
know. They're not always on Facebook 12 hours a day looking at this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like I used to be a jerk, and I'd be like, well, and I'd be like, oh, this question again. It looks like we have to answer it or some dumb shit. I was like, but then I started thinking about it. And I said this when we launched the Party Wagon. Like, listen, if someone asks a question, don't think that they have the same life you do when it comes to what they look at on the internet, or if they're even on Facebook that much, or on Instagram, or on Twitter, or Reddit. Like, don't assume that they have the ability that they are in it as much as we are. So if they're asking a question, they genuinely don't know. And if they're also asking a question, people are like, well, "Why don't you Google it?" Well, Google's not that hard or easy to figure out when it comes to the specific stuff. That's why the group
Right.
exists, so people can get help. That's why we're
Exactly.
here. So,
Right.
with that being said, when you see someone doing that, don't be a dickhead. It's as simple as that. Like, if someone's asking a question, they're not doing it to be facetious. They're really doing it because they don't know, and they might not know they can search it in the group. They might not know what's been said in the group because they haven't checked the group in 2 months. You don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know.
We approve a lot of duplicate posts because people are trying to help, and I've seen comments before, saying, "Why are you posting this? It was just posted 5 minutes ago." Okay, I'd rather have over communication than none,
Right.
personally.
Because it changes. Because if that first post, right, gets no comments, that gets drowned out. The next post gets more comments, that goes up. But then that first post, or like maybe something else gets posted. I don't know, something else, and
Right.
then the more then that's the thing popping off, and then those posts just get drowned out and no one sees it. So that's an issue, and
Right.
we try not to. We really don't approve duplicate posts. Like whenever there's the Turtle Tuesday announcement, we get like 19 of those bastards in there, and we like we'll approve 2 or 3, and then we'll decline the rest and be like, listen, we get it. Like we don't want to overdo it, but
Right.
yeah, the news is like, when there's news or there's questions and people trying to hunt, that's like a whole thing. Like me, I'll just openly say like that Michelangelo. That's our next topic. That Michelangelo on Walmart today, right? You guys were like, why did you send us to the group chat? It's like, I woke up knowing that, and the reason I knew this is because I paid attention to our group, which is something I do. Not everybody, but I knew that Mikey was dropping on the 19th at Walmart. That was their date for it. So I woke up this morning. I literally already had the link, already good. Clicked it, saw it said limit two or two left. Placed my order, and then I sent the link to other people. Like, I was about to send the link and then screw myself out of it. So I ordered the Mikey, and then I sent it. I posted it in the group, and then I literally wrote edit when it sold out because it did end up selling out like right after I posted it. And then I sent it to Tom Bullman, and then I sent it to my buddy Chris at Funky Town, and I didn't send it to the group chat because I literally assumed you guys already freaking knew, and then I went back to sleep.
Well, I lost out on it. However,
Yeah.
let's see if people actually pay attention. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he said, "Oh, they're still up right now." I'm like, "No, they're not," because I was clicking on Walmart's website every 5 minutes. He's like, "I can literally add it to my cart." I'm like, "I can't." I'm like, "What the heck's going on?"
That's so weird.
And so he told me, "Try my zip code." I put his zip code in, boom, I could add it to cart. So it varies on zip code.
Yeah,
And he's like,
maybe.
"Well, a store by me has it." I'm like, "None by me." I'm like, "I wonder if that makes the deal breaker."
Yeah,
So if you can
none
find a
by
zip
me.
code,
None by me too.
right? So it's interesting. I put his zip code in, and I could add it.
Yeah.
So if you see it, somebody saying, "Oh, it's up online," try their zip code. Ask them what their zip code is.
Yeah, that I didn't know that. So
Yeah,
I
I
guess
literally just found
there's
this
your pro
out.
tip.
So again, let's see if people are paying attention and if they can get one now.
Yeah, and to be honest, I felt so bad. I'm gonna be like, I felt so bad because like I sent it to Tom and it sold out. And I know Tom really wanted it. I sent it to Chris, and I didn't tell you guys. I went to one Walmart on my lunch to check to see if I can find it, and then I went to another Walmart after work today to go see if I can find it. One of them was the store that would have had them. The other store is like one of the shit Walmarts that never gets anything. Well, they do, but the employees suck. They leave it all in the back. They don't do shit.
Oh, they don't.
And then the hub Walmart. I don't know if you guys know about hub Walmarts, but there's like out of all the massive Walmarts in your area, there's always one that's called the hub, and that's the one that's supposed to get all of, like that's supposed to be like the one to get the stuff first.
Yep.
And that's usually how that works. I went last night, and they didn't know of any. Like I asked because I know some people that work there, they haven't seen anything. So I'm in New York. They were hitting Pennsylvania all week. And there people were buying them. So like they're on the East Coast, and I think they're East Coast first this time around. I think they're hitting I think most reports of the East Coast so far.
Yes.
Which is very strange because it's never it's always like Wisconsin, and then it goes out, or it's like the West Coast and then slowly comes over to us. We have to wait forever. But
yeah, same here. Unfortunately, that's why I changed the zip code and it worked.
Yeah. Did you order it though? Did you end up?
No. Because unfortunately I was working. I got a call and I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
I wasn't able to order it.
Yeah.
So
The part that stung was the $7 in shipping because it wasn't above $35.
yeah, right.
Yo, speaking of $35, that superhero 4-pack just dropped to $35. It's dropped
Really?
like $2 every 2 days.
I gotta call Walmart and see if they'll adjust my price.
I bought it at $39. I'm not worried about $4, but they did screw up my Super Donnie card. If you order it, if you're in the wagon and you're ordering this package, when you get it, make a post about it. Let us know, let others know what kind of quality you're getting these in, because I got my 4-pack in, and I don't open the new ones because as I've taken off my wall, I like the packaging of the new repros, and I like putting them on the wall, and they look really nice, and that's what I've been doing. But it feels like these guys were just jammed into this box, right? Like the cards were bent, and they come in like a nice box, and there's no way they can get ruined. But the cards were like wavy, and then Super Donnie, the hang tag was ripped all the way off. Even that plastic like hook.
In the box?
Yeah, like that plastic hook that's like stuck to it. That was absolutely just ripped off. So like they punched that shit in there.
I still have to open up my box. So, and I'm going to. So
yeah, I'm so bummed. I'm very upset because they ship so many of these out to like major retailers, and I walk into stores and I get them like you saw here, and like they're always in good condition, to be honest. they come in those Playmates boxes, but like this one, man, they wrecked it. It's like whoever handled it, and like the tissue paper wasn't in between each of them. They were just kind of like shoved in there, so it literally felt like a repack. It felt like someone had like opened it up and then put it back in and returned it.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they all fell out and the employees just put them in.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm super bummed about that. But yeah, if you're in the group and you did order them and you did open them and you had a similar experience, like let us know. Like post it in there. I put a bad review down for it. I know someone else did that, or I think someone like I don't know if they like wrote to Walmart. They replaced theirs for them. I'm hoping they see my bad review. They say something, but
why don't you call customer service and see if you can get yours replaced?
it only gave me the option to return it. I could probably go in store and figure it out, but I don't know. I'm not one of those guys, but we'll see what happens.
You're not an inbox collector.
Well, I'm not, but with these, I like the art. I like putting them on the wall, so that's keeping them in the box. I might just end up opening them and putting them on the shelf because
there you go.
Yeah, they're all vintage up there, but I mean, I'll mix in a couple of repros. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, cool. Yeah. Man, we got anything else to talk about here today? I mean, talked about Tatsu, which is heartbreaking. We talked about being an admin, some of the tough things, and then we just talked about that. This might be one of our shorter episodes.
Yeah, I mean, there was one other thing that we were supposed to talk about.
What?
I can't remember.
What? Now.
Well, that could be a different episode. It's inbox collecting versus out of box or displaying, I should say.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about collectors versus investors some other time.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's
very strong. I'm very vocally joking about it most of the time, but you know, as a good preface, you know, inbox versus out of box. Like when you're inbox, you're more of an investor because most people that do that are like, why would you keep it in the box? You're gonna sell it later on. Like, come on.
Like Mirage figures, right? I mean, they look just good displayed right there. Why do I need to take them out of the box?
Right. You know. I mean, yeah, but let me ask you: are you more enticed to sell them because they're in the box and out of the box?
If a situation ever occurred where I had to, I know the options there.
Right. See, that's where we differ. I mean, I open everything, and you can kind of see we have the. I can't even open it right now. Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
That's empty. That's just the box.
Okay.
My figures are on the shelf. I thought about that very heavily the other day because you know I spill the beans. I work for Microsoft, and you know I've been super scared of this whole layoff, the firing of the 10,000 employees recently, and you know I made it. I'm good. I was close. Like my departments around me disappeared, but I didn't. So
awesome.
you know, and Steven knows I've been like losing my mind for the past week because I've known about this before it broke on the news. But you know, I was thinking about that. Like, do I sell stuff? Like, what if I lose my job? Microsoft severance package was absolutely absurd, so I wouldn't have had to. But I was thinking like my furnace just broke, so that's a huge expense. I have a 3,900 square foot house. Like I need a good big furnace.
Yeah.
It's a big ass house. But like I'm looking at my turtles, like, you know, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I can't sell them. I won't. Like there's no way. It's like I'm not going to hit a hardship to where I'm going to give up things that I love just to make money. And people can criticize me about that, right? But you know, I'm going to be miserable not having a job. I'm going to be miserable being hard up for money if it whatever comes up to it. But I'm not going to ruin the one thing that legitimately makes me happy.
I completely agree with you. That's why I said if I absolutely had to, if I could never find a job for 5 years, and if it's become me being homeless or selling my turtles, of course I'm going to sell my turtles.
Dude, I'm going homeless with all my turtles.
Okay.
I'm put them all in my car.
But see, yeah, this is a different episode. We can go for hours.
We'll talk about that in another episode because we can't talk about everything like in these episodes because then we'll run out of topics.
Right.
We're aiming to not talk about what everybody else talks about. To be honest, you know, people break down episodes, they break down the movies. There's enough of that. Like let's just get like down to the dirt. Like we'll just talk about things that people actually give a shit about, and you know we'll have our opinions on it and let y'all fight. On it, so whatever.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But yeah, one thing I do want to mention though is I mention them a lot, and I have to mention them one more time. The last toy store. I actually
Oh,
talked to
this
them.
again? Nah, I'll link
Yeah,
him. I'll link him
after,
below. Don't worry, I'll link him below. I've been linking him every episode.
that's awesome. One thing I've been suggesting is a couple of turtles here and there that they might not have, and they give me details. Yeah, let me know these things so they can actually order them, so we can get it cheaper with our 10% discount.
Yeah,
So, again, lasttoystore.com, and there you can also get the 10% code from our website, tmntpw.com.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And
yeah,
I'll link it down below, and hit him up for stuff. Legitimately, like I'm not even joking. Like I bought the Van Helsing Splinter from them. It was like the best like packaging I've ever had. And I'm not even an inbox collector, but I obviously ripped it open. But it was like 2 day shipping, packed very well. But with Invisible Man Donnie and Man Ray on the horizon, it's worth snagging those, save a little bit of money. They are always like they get stuff like before it's hitting. Like they get stuff when it comes out, so you're
right,
gonna probably get it before you see it hit store shelves, like physical store
exactly.
shelves. Spoiler. I know that the Invisible Donnie and Man Ray are very close because I've seen them. My buddy has them, and I cannot wait for those to come out for everybody because those are insane. They look so good. So make sure you got your orders in. And then lastly, not Turtles related, Brooklyn and Broadway. Brooklyn and Broadway, part of the Gargoyles NECA line. Those are shipping right now from Big
Really?
Bad Toy Store. Yeah,
I did
I
not
got.
know that. So,
Yeah, my buddy Leo on Instagram. It's like I'm gonna botch it. It's OELLEO. It's Leo spelled multiple times, frontwards and backwards. Leo actually hit me up yesterday. He goes, "Yo, did you get these?" And I'm like, "No, not yet." And he goes, "Yeah, they just started shipping. I got my notification." So, non-Turtles related, Gargoyles are shipping new ones, Brooklyn and Broadway, and Brooklyn's my favorite, so I will be getting that.
cool.
Hell yeah! So we'll wrap it up. Thank you everybody. If you want me looking more this way and not this way next time, let me know in the comments. Please, if you can, share the video around. I want to try to build this up into something. I'm not looking to make money on it. It's just the more views we get, the more people share it, the more we feel invigorated to do it. And
Yeah,
it's our personal time that we do this. It's 8 o'clock for me on a Thursday. I'm recording this. Steven, was it 7 o'clock on a Thursday because
yeah,
you're a couple
exactly.
states over. Um, the more interaction, the more people that watch this, really just entices us to want to do more. I know it sounds silly, but it really does mean a lot to us. We have fun doing this, but putting in all the extra work to get everything uploaded and everything, it really means a lot to me and Steven and the rest of the team that, you share, you like it, you comment, whatever we need to do to try to get this thing kind of going would be really cool because we just want to talk more, get more views, use those views to get more people on the podcast that are like higher up, in the toys industry and just kind of see what their thoughts are and stuff. So,
Yeah,
let us know what we can change. Let us know what you'd like to see. And, give us ideas for future stuff that you want to hear us talk about. And if you care about our opinions, then awesome. I appreciate it.
yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us this week. Next Friday, we'll have another episode. So, as always, take care and thanks for joining.
So yeah, thank you. Have a good one.